Moving to a new city like Kitchener can be very exciting, but choosing the right neighborhood, well, that's the hard part. In the last two videos, we basically broke down the city's entry level and the mid-tier neighborhoods, where you saw some of those neighborhoods had some really good upside, while others with trade-offs that you will want to avoid as a family. Now today, we are wrapping up this series with the A and S tier neighborhoods. These are the neighborhoods I would call them the most desirable, established, and in some cases, exclusive communities right here in all of Kitchener. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. In case you're wondering who am I, I'm Dharmik Dixit, a local real estate agent here in Kitchener, and I get calls, texts, emails every single week from people just like yourself, whether they are relocating, they're upsizing, or buying their first home. And I basically help them make a smooth move in and around Kitchener Waterloo. Having said that, if you are the one trying to figure out which neighborhood actually fits your lifestyle and your budget, feel free to call, text, email, or book a Zoom call. All the info is right below. I'll be more than happy to help you and the family. First up on the Tier A list, we have a neighborhood called Doon South. Now, if you have been researching for Kitchener for a while, you've probably heard of this neighborhood quite often. Doon South is one of the most popular A-tier neighborhoods right here in Kitchener, and for a good reason. I'll tell you why. First, you'll find a good mix of detached homes and the freehold townhomes. Here, mostly they're built in the 2000s and some newer homes. On the newer side of the neighborhood, you got builders like Activa Homes. They're still putting up new homes to this date right here in this neighborhood. If you were to look into the older pockets of the neighborhood, you got some great layouts between 18 to 2400 square feet. And the newer builds often come with some great modern finishes and of course the energy efficient upgrades. So you have a wide range to choose from. This area is best suited for growing families or even the buyers who are relocating from GTA who will still need quick access to the 401. I mean, commuters love this neighborhood. The lifestyle overall in Doon South is going to be very suburban, quiet, and family friendly. You've got great trails, parks, and one of the RBJ Schlegel Park, which is coming right up. They are building a massive rec center, indoor rec center that's right in your neighborhood. So there's a ton to explore right in and around this neighborhood. The pros: location, newer homes, and family vibe. If you were to look at the cons, prices are higher than average. Some newer streets, because of the construction, still feel like under construction. If you are overall looking for that long-term livability with a great highway access, that's where I would say Doon South will deliver very strongly. Next up on my list, we have another Tier A neighborhood called the Grand River South. Now, sometimes Grand River South is also called the Lackner Woods, so it's interchangeably used, but it's an excellent A-tier neighborhood on the east end of Kitchener. Homes here in this neighborhood are mostly detached. You will find a range of townhomes built in the late 90s to the mid 2000s. Lot sizes are really good. Streets overall, if you were to drive by, they're very quiet. There's a strong sense of community and there's a pride of ownership. The area really stands out for a school quality. There's actually a Catholic school here in this neighborhood. It scored 8.3 on Fraser Institute, and it's actually one of the major draws for many families with school-going kids. Now, you're also minutes from trails along the Grand River, and homes generally are very well maintained. So if you're a nature lover who still want the convenience, then this area checks a lot of boxes for you. I would say it's very ideal for families looking to move off from a starter home. Maybe they're looking for a destination home, or if someone is moving from out of town but wants something polished without being too far away from the highway, then Grand River South is a great option, one worth considering. Next up on my list, I got another great neighborhood called Idlewood. Now, you may or may not have heard of this neighborhood, but in my opinion, I feel like Idlewood is one of those neighborhoods that doesn't always get talked about a lot. But I can tell you, when people, especially my clients, when they discover it, they just fall in love with it. If you were to drive by, you will see what I mean. Homes here are mostly built in the 80s and early 90s. So it's a good mix of very well built two-story homes, huge bungalows, and there are even some triple car garage homes in like 60 plus feet wider lots. So think about solid construction, huge yards, and mature trees. That's what this neighborhood is all about. It has that, timeless suburban vibe to it. Very quiet, very well kept, and centrally located. I mean, you can pretty much get to just about anywhere in KWC or Guelph in under 20 minutes from this neighborhood. So very much central location. It suits families with, they value build quality and space and location over that flashy finishes. So there's also, if you look, like very less turnover in this neighborhood, and that tells you a lot about this neighborhood. Next up on my list is my personal favorite. It's gonna be Highland West. Now, this is another great Tier A neighborhood, just northwest of Forest Hill. But this neighborhood offers slightly newer housing stock with a good mix of two-story detached homes, as well as the townhomes that are built in the early 2000s. Homes mostly tend to be in the range of 16 to 2400 square feet, but they are on a smaller lots. And layouts are efficient. There is pride of ownership that's very strong. So overall, neighborhood is very stable. It's a great fit for working professional, first-time move-up buyers, or anyone looking for that, low maintenance, low upkeep living without having to sacrifice the layout. You're very close to the Boardwalk Shopping Center, which is a massive retail complex with pretty much everything from Walmart to Winners. There's a medical clinics, a range of them, restaurants, and of course we have the landmark cinema there. Lifestyle wise, it's very suburban with basically the convenience that's built in this neighborhood. One downside though, the street parking can be very tight in some pockets because of the smaller lots and the density of townhome clusters. But overall, it's strong, very much livable, and family-friendly neighborhood in my personal opinion. In fact, I live in this neighborhood. Now, next up on my list is a very unique neighborhood of its kind. It's called the Brigadoon. Now, Brigadoon is what I would say it's unlike any other area in Kitchener. And basically what you'll see, most of this neighborhood is developed between the 60s and 70s. Pretty much feels like a countryside, but it's within the city. If you were to drive by, you'll find mostly large custom homes. Many of them are still on septic systems. To this date, they're basically located on a mature, like huge oversized lots, gives you ample privacy. It's ideal for, I would say, buyers, looking for something very unique. You won't find those cookie cutter subdivisions with a lot of two stories here. These are, I would say, one-of-a-kind properties, often with long, deep driveways and lots, wraparound porches, and even some with forested backyards. Keep in mind though, you're still very close to 401 and a quick drive to Dune South and Pioneer Park amenities. But the vibe in this neighborhood itself is going to be very peaceful, rural, and kind of quiet in nature. I would say it's definitely for someone who wants a character and land, but not a brand new build. That's the only downside. You're not gonna find any new construction. Last Tier A neighborhood on my list is Huron Park. You may call it Huron South as well. Now, this is one of the fastest growing parts of Kitchener, and as we speak, as I record this video, it's still being built out. Builders like Activa, Fusion, Heathwood Homes, they're delivering new inventory of homes regularly in this neighborhood. You basically can expect around 1800 to 2800 square feet detached homes, lots of two-story townhomes and stacked townhomes as well. Price, I would say, ranges widely depending on the finish, the location, and the builder. But overall, I would say it's a great area for young families and GTA buyers who want that newer builds and they are comfortable with POTL fees in some of the newer communities. I mean, just think about it. You got immediate access to the RBJ Schlegel Park, the new Longos Plaza, and tons of new retail, plus a new multiplex on its way in the RBJ. Just keep in mind though, it's still very much under the development. You can expect a lot of construction, limited tree lines, and fewer school options, at least for now. But I do feel like it's in the long run, it's a strong bet. Now let's talk about the S tier neighborhoods, and these are the ones I would say they are pretty much the showstopper neighborhoods. Now, first one on my list here for the tier S is gonna be the neighborhood called the Deer Ridge. If you were to look it up on map, basically this neighborhood is located just the southeast edge of Kitchener. It's an executive style neighborhood with luxury curb appeal. What you will find in terms of homes, huge homes, mostly custom and very well maintained. Many of them in fact are backing onto the golf courses, green space, and some of them even fall back onto the Grand River. You will see a good range of triple car garages, stone facades, and grand entrances. The lifestyle, very quiet, upscale, and safe overall. Very low turnover. Mostly people who buy here obviously stay here for a very long time. Keep in mind though, you are still very close to the Costco in Kitchener, the Highway 401, and there are few private schools in the Cambridge which are very close. It's, I would say, perfect for the high income professionals or business owners who want something very refined, private, and convenient. Another great neighborhood on the tier S is gonna be Hidden Valley. Now, Hidden Valley is exactly what it sounds like. You're looking at private, secluded, and absolutely stunning neighborhood. Located just off the Hidden Valley Road, this is arguably the most prestigious neighborhood here in Kitchener. Homes here sit on 1 to 2 acre lots, many backing onto the Grand River or the protected green space, so you have ample privacy. You will find a good amount of custom estates ranging from 2 million to well over 5 million with architecture you won't see anywhere else in the city. It's ultra quiet, surrounded by nature, and feels like its own world if you were to drive by. Yet, you're still only 5 to 10 minutes from the Fairway Road and the Highway 8. So if you're looking for exclusivity, space, and true luxury within the city boundaries, this is where you want to be. No question at all. That wraps up the part 3 of the series, and with it, the full ranking of Kitchener's neighborhoods from the ground up. The Tier A and Tier S communities we covered today are exactly where most upsizing families, long-term planners, and the relocation buyers want to end up in. Now, keep in mind, these are not just the good homes, they are solid neighborhoods built around lifestyle, reputation, and staying power. If you've watched all 3 parts, you now basically have a full picture view of what Kitchener has to offer, from some of the affordable starters to some of the most desirable neighborhoods in the entire city. And if you're still deciding where to start, or you want help narrowing things down based on your timeline, your lifestyle, and your budget, I would love to help. You can call, text, email, or book a Zoom using the info below. I talk to buyers like you every single week, and I know how overwhelming this process can be when you're doing it alone. So feel free to reach out. Until next time, I will continue to show you around the town.